They don't wait, they don't warn, and they don't stop. Wild boars, feral, aggressive, and relentless, are more than just animals wandering the countryside. They are an invasion force, an ancient species with the cunning of a predator and the destructive appetite of a bulldozer. Across Texas and much of the southern United States, wild boars, often called feral hogs, have become more than a nuisance. They have evolved into an ecological crisis. With razor-sharp tusks, unmatched toughness, and explosive reproduction rates, these feral invaders leave chaos wherever they roam. They uproot crops in a single night, tearing through fields that took months to plant. They churn up native vegetation, stripping land bare and leaving behind wastelands that erode into rivers and streams. They displace deer, ground nesting birds, and countless small mammals that can't compete with their dominance. Even water systems suffer, poisoned by muddy wallows and contaminated runoff. And here's the brutal math. A single sow can give birth to 2 litters every year, with up to a dozen piglets each time, which means a population can double and triple in just a handful of seasons. What begins as a handful of hogs on one ranch can quickly transform into an unstoppable army of destruction spanning counties. Their true danger lies not only in their numbers, but in their intelligence. These animals don't just react, they adapt. Push them during the day and they'll switch to night raids. Build traps and they'll learn to avoid them. Miss a single shot and the entire sounder, sometimes 30 or more, remembers the danger and changes its patterns. This makes hunting not only necessary but strategic. Every encounter a chess match between human ingenuity and animal cunning. Helicopter hunts, night vision stalks, and coordinated drives are all part of modern wildlife management, designed not for sport but for survival. Each shot you'll witness today is part of that broader mission. It isn't about counting bodies, it's about restoring balance. Because when wild boars dominate a landscape, it's not just wildlife that pays the price. Families pay too. Farmers lose entire harvests overnight, watching fields that represented months of work destroyed in hours. Ranchers wake to find fences ripped apart, pastures dug into trenches, and water lines destroyed. The economic toll stretches into billions every year, with property owners, insurance companies, and state governments all feeling the pressure. For families in rural Texas and beyond, living with feral hogs is like living under siege. And yet, despite the destruction, hunters and landowners have learned to turn crisis into opportunity. Ethical hunting programs ensure that the meat from these animals is not wasted, with much of it processed and donated to communities, feeding families while protecting the land. In some regions, the hunts have become community efforts, blending tradition with modern necessity. It's part of protecting ecosystems under attack, part of preserving the balance that allows native species to survive, and part of giving farmers a fighting chance against an invader that never slows down. The war between humans and wild boars is far from over. These creatures are resilient. They learn, they spread, and they thrive in conditions where others falter. But as long as skilled hunters, farmers, and wildlife managers stand ready, there's hope that balance can be restored. Because this fight isn't about domination, it's about coexistence. About ensuring that future generations inherit land that's still fertile, still diverse, and still alive.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.